Good morning and welcome to the best thing in life. Well, actually, no, the best things in life are actually friends. And sometimes, most people...
Friends or free? Which one?
Friends.
Make up your mind, because the best things in life are actually free as far as I'm concerned.
Friends.
Free.
I will explain to you during the course of the show. But let me land.
Free.
I just got back.
Free.
I just got back.
Who
Allow
cares?
me.
Free.
Welcome. It is Wake Up Nigeria, and trust us, we are the best friends that you can ever have because you wake up to us every single morning for these exciting moments that we bring to you.
Absolutely. It might be just the second day of the new week, but the week already looks and feels amazing. We get to offer you the very best of both worlds. Makes me think of Jay-Z and R. Kelly. You remember the album?
No, I don't.
So Best of Both Worlds album.
Oh, the album.
You know, man.
I remember. You're old.
Yeah,
In any case.
Whatever.
Listen, we are not here alone because we've got someone inside of the studio that reminds me of a classic horror movie from the 80s. You know those horror movies we used to enjoy seeing?
I have no idea what
You know, horror movies where everybody's guts are spilling out.
I have no idea.
But we still enjoy the gore and
all.
all.
How can you liken someone this beautiful with
I
that?
will tell you why. Check out Winfrey's dress.
I love the fact that you think my guts are made of flowers. I think it's very cute, Messina. Thank you.
See?
Yeah. So if I look like a horror movie like this,
you know what? I love your disposition for life.
Oh,
I mean, there's nothing you can't change to,
nothing.
glitters. That's brilliant. That's learn from Winfrey.
Stop being patronizing. Started from this to another. But I don't have words for you this morning.
In any case, you guys keep your eyes on the stars and your feet on the ground as we take steps to achieving a satisfying Tuesday edition of your premium breakfast television show, Wake Up Nigeria.
Now, we're always in high spirits, as you already know, and we hope to take you on that same journey with us, so stand by. It is flight time.
Of course, every single day remains an opportunity for you guys to start afresh and open more avenues to make a difference. While you're doing that, please remember the name that told you that this morning to start up your day. My name is Mazino Appeal.
And my name is Mary Bashwa Alimi. Now, you remember, you can use the hashtag Wakeupnigeriaontvc across all social media platforms, just so you can be a part of the best breakfast show on Nigerian television.
Yes. And also, please watch us live. We are everywhere across the world. If you want to do that, all you need is the mobile app on your phones. Download it, Google Play Store or iOS.
Yes, we also implore you to follow us across all social media platforms, okay? That's at TVC Connect, all right? Facebook, Instagram, X. Yeah, X. Threads even. We're also on Threads.
Everything at TVC Connect, like she said. And now, let's let you guys know what we so diligently put together for a Tuesday edition here on Wake Up Nigeria. For our STEM holiday series, we're joined by Jadesola Adedeji of STEM Met Resources, a 21st century skill training for children using STEM-based activities to develop skills for the future workplace.
For a musical performance, we have Joy Bliss, an ardent believer of Christ and a singer. She is the pioneer of the Worship Leaders community on Instagram. And today, we are really looking forward to her performance.
Dr. Dorothy Jeff Namani is the MD CEO of Nova Health Africa Limited, committed to creating value through excellent coordination and efficient delivery of healthcare services. Better client experience during hospital visits, enhanced client engagements in their own healthcare, and plenty more. She'll be here to talk to us much about that later.
Iyebiye Adeton is a seasoned Nigerian film poster designer and illustrator who has great experience in the designing of film posters. We're looking forward to having a conversation with him, especially talking about his art.
Morning and welcome once again, Tuesday edition. I just got back from a fantastic weekend. I can't begin to tell you guys.
If you actually now travel and leave the country, what will now happen?
Then we hear up.
I just got back.
Listen, yeah. We don't appreciate Nigeria. If you go on my social media, you'd see a video of me riding through a kitty, taking a video of the mountains. It's so beautiful and refreshing.
You went on about it for 2 weeks.
No, that was the previous week. That was Kwara.
2 weeks.
So this weekend, I rode all the way to Abuja and back.
What was the idea with all the strips, though?
Mental health, and that's the thing.
Yeah, like he literally is. He has a kick this morning.
I'm refreshed. I'm rejuvenated. See, I think everybody deserves that 1 or 2 days where they can actually say to their boss, "Oga, click.
Wow.
Give me like that
When you
kind
say your
of
boss, are you talking about your boss or your wife?
And your wife as well.
Yes, because it's like he was referring to
your wife
another
as well.
boss.
Well, maybe exactly. Maybe
But
that's
would
the
you
boss.
like it if your wife rode, though?
Say again?
You do like it if your
No,
wife
I
rode?
wouldn't.
Why?
She's a speed demon with a car. Speak less of a bike. We're not doing that.
I want to learn to ride.
In any case, wanted to say spending on fuel for the trip was astronomical, because I think it spent about 25,000 for one trip and then back. That's another. That's about
Wait, you
50,000.
drove
50
or you
I
rode?
rode.
And you
And it was
spent
that
20
much.
No, that's little. Compared to a car, I'd be spending somewhere around 100,000.
Sure, because you have to fill your...
Remember, fuel is now, well, in Lagos, it's 570 plus. In states like Ekiti and Kogi, it's 700 and 720, depending on where you're actually buying from. So it makes you wonder how on earth people are coping, what measures they're taking to save. You were talking about that this morning, how they're,
Yeah, they're actually, I believe at this point, everybody's cutting back. Doesn't mean you shouldn't still give yourself occasional treats, but I believe it's time for us to maximize every kobo. And it's also important, I've mentioned this on my social media and I'm going to say it again, it's also important for the government to look into the transport sector.
Yeah.
Because part of the problems we have in Nigeria is the transport sector and how there's just too much charges going on there.
Yeah.
I could have, elucidated this, but there isn't enough time.
Welcome back. It's still Wake Up Nigeria. Of course, we begin with the news every day, and we begin in Niger State, where the aircraft, the NAF helicopter, had departed Zungeru Primary School en route Kaduna, but was later discovered to have crashed near Chukuba. This news was in the stories and headlines from yesterday. Now, the local government area of Niger State experiences and a Nigerian Air Force M1171 helicopter on a casualty evacuation mission crashed yesterday at about 1 p.m. near Chukuba village in Niger State. Now, in a statement by the Nigerian Air Force, the aircraft was en route Kaduna. Correspondent Chinemi Bamayi brings this to us.
The helicopter was en route Kaduna on an evacuation mission from Zungeru Primary School after evacuating bodies of soldiers killed in a Sunday afternoon attack. It later crashed near Chukuba village in Shiroro Local Council, one of the most affected areas by bandits. Sources said 10 soldiers lost their lives in that attack and 50 bandits were killed, while many others sustained various degrees of injuries. There was a resurgence of attacks in the last 8 days around Wushishi, Munya and Kotungura axis. The Niger State Emergency Management Agency reported that about 1,000 persons have been displaced by these attacks, and some are currently in temporary IDP camps in some primary schools in Kotungura. The Nigerian Air Force said efforts are ongoing to rescue the crew and passengers on board the helicopter that crashed today, while preliminary investigations have commenced to determine the probable cause of the crash, although local sources in the village said the aircraft was shot down by one of the bandits' camps. No details yet regarding the details of persons on board the aircraft. The Niger State Governor Umaru Bago has also condoled the Nigerian Air Force over the incident and promised his continual support to complement their efforts in combating terrorism. Chinemi Bamayi, TVC News, Mina.
Now, welcome back. Let's move on now. The protests trailed the killing of IDPs in Benue State. The Benue State residents have called on the federal government to intervene in the increased killing in the north-central region of the country. They made the call after a renewed attack on Otese community in Guma local government, killing 3 internally displaced persons in Benue State. Mayowa Okunato reports.
Nigeria's North Central, previously known for its serenity and bustling economic activities, has today become one of the most insecure regions in the country. This is due to the level of wanton killings and destruction caused by activities of rampaging criminal gangs, a mix of religious fundamentalists and unknown gunmen. Just last week Thursday, at least 17 people were killed in an attack carried out by unknown gunmen on a community in Bakin Ladi local government, North Central Plateau State. On Friday, 3 internally displaced persons were killed in Kyongu, Otesi community in Guma local council in Benue following renewed gunmen attacks. Women and youth led a protest on Friday to register their displeasure.
So the 3 of my camp members went outside to find food for their members in the camp. When they would go, Fulanis killed 3 of them.
All our farms, they clear all. They cut our yams, eat our guinea corn, our corns and everything.
Commuters were at the receiving end as the Makurdi-Lafia road was blocked by demonstrators.
They come around 6:30 in the evening. So we are there for then one survive, and the one that will survive, they know very well that Nafrani come to attack them. So that's what happened with that. Day before yesterday, then come attack those my people. They are killed that yesterday. Not only God then served them that yesterday, and day before yesterday. Then they still come back that yesterday to come my kill.
After several hours, it took the intervention of the military to unblock the highway to allow free flow of traffic. Killings of this manner have been the challenge past administration tried hard to put a stop to. In the early days of a new administration in Benue, the killing seems to have increased in intensity. This new government is expected to, as early as possible, give a definitive response to end this waste of lives and properties in the region. Mayowa Okwato, TVC News, Makadi.
And that's all we can take for the news this morning. Welcome once again. It's Wake Up Nigeria. We'll be back with more. And you are welcome. It's time for What's Up and About. Beautiful ladies and horror movie poster girl.
No, this is supposed to be a flower.
It's a flower.
Mary, he believes my intestines are made of flowers. That's a beautiful thing.
It's unique in any case. I've never seen it before.
Whatsoever.
I like that. It's a nice combination. You always glow.
Thank you.
Alrighty, that puts me in trouble at home, but let's get on with the show. Okay, so interesting story here. Did you guys hear of the 3 Nigerian kids, young guys, teenagers actually? They're getting extradited to the United States, Michigan to be precise. What did they do? It's a charge about sextortion. Apparently, what they've been doing is using social media accounts that can't be tracked to cajole people, teenagers mostly, into sending them nude pictures. Then they would use these nude pictures in turn to blackmail the individuals. This has been going on, but unfortunately for them, one of their victims committed suicide. So that got the American justice system interested, and they started an investigation that ended up in the thing. They caught 2 of the culprits in Lagos, in the Ojo area of Lagos, and one of them in Nasarawa State after being on the run. Now it's very interesting that this is happening and that they're getting extradited to the United States, and we're wondering, this is where they're going to serve their time. If they might get about 30 years actually. I don't know what you think about the dynamics of this. I don't know. I have reservations about it. I don't know what you think.
What do you think?
Okay, for me I got your initial drift, talking about how, you're extraditing people from Nigeria to America. Isn't that a good thing?
No, not necessarily a good thing, but...
No, I get you. Of course, what they did was terrible, and definitely there's no fun or games in all of that. But the truth of the issue is that, why are things like this coming up? Why are young teenage boys, Nigerian young teenage boys, finding themselves in positions to do certain things? I know there are normal people that are just naturally predisposed to crime, but then again, if the country was literally a little bit more conducive, exactly, we won't have situations like this. The education, these guys are meant to be in school.
Yeah.
Literally thinking of how to make their life a better place. But then again, this is what they have to deal with and all of that. I'm not, it's not an excuse for them. But then again, extraditing them to the US, literally going there to do 30 years. Now, let's talk about it. They're talking about free food, free electricity, and all of that. And then if it's 30 years and they do serve that time, I'm talking about the immigration laws and policies of the United States. When they're released, does that count for them?
They'll be deported.
They will be deported.
They would be deported.
They will be deported. And it's shameful.
Yeah.
I've always believed there is no excuse for crime. There's absolutely no excuse for it. Yes, the situation of the country is terrible enough. However, every little terrible thing that everyone does in their little corner contributes to the worsening of the situation of the country.
Thank you very much.
So when you think that, like you definitely see on social media, especially X, I was about to say Twitter, especially X, you see people saying, why are they criticizing these young boys? What about the, government officials who are doing worse? It's the normal response you get on social media. But the reality is this: karma catches up with everybody. You might not believe it, but that's the reality. Karma catches up with everybody. Those officials you think are getting away with it, go check out what their children are now, the ones that have done it in the past. Many of them amount to nothing, and that's just the reality. Now, back to what we are saying now. Those boys have ruined their own lives. Sometimes you think you get away with it. Some things are just mean. And the reality is, when you are being a predator over children, when you're preying over children, that is a problem. If you had preyed over adults, it could have been excused to an extent, though it's still wrong. But preying over children, getting them to send you nude photos, that's evil.
Their crimes aren't just extortion, it also has to do with child pornography as well.
Yes, child pornography is no joke,
yeah,
especially
it's not a
in the US.
No.
Yes,
It's here in Nigeria that you know, some things are swept under the carpet. You are going to face the charges, you will face the law. And the sad part is when you come back to Nigeria, you're literally going to be starting your life over at 50 and 52 or thereabouts. It's not worth it. So why do you folks do this?
Okay, so there's that, right? And also my mind is going in this direction now. Getting someone to send you a nude is a thing of, as I said, no excuse, right? But then again, it's a two can play this game kind of situation. That's honestly the way I see it from, right? They are also teenage boys, right? Whoever they're extorting photos from are probably within their age range. We are thinking about the conversation or the communication that's going on between them that's actually making these people send them nudes. So there's that as well. So you yourself, literally, you have to think of what you're doing at every single time.
Yeah.
It's like gone are the times that it's just all fun and games. Do you understand? That under no circumstance should you literally be sending nudes to another person, considering the world that we're in, technology and all of that. So you also need to be smart in that regard. Yes, what they did was wrong, but then again, the other parties also had a hand in this and literally had a part to play in this as well. So yeah.
I don't know, if we were to come from the family angle, do you have any inputs there? Because my input is from a very social, and I want to reserve that for a bit, but regarding what responsibilities parents have over their kids when it comes to these kinds of conversations that happen in spaces that parents are not often privy to.
So you see this issue of parenting. I know it's not popular opinion, but I'm not the type to blame parents for how their children turn out. I'm sorry. Because even there's a Yoruba saying about how your parents can raise you right, but you also have to raise yourself right. There are people who were born to excellent parents who turned out horrible. And there are people who were born to really terrible parents who turned out excellent. So I always struggle to marry that, parental responsibility. Yes, as a parent, you should do your best in raising your child. But it's also your responsibility as a child to give yourself, proper training. That's why you see if a mother or a father with 4 children and 2 of them, no matter what the parents did, the flogging, everything that they gave all of them, 2 of them might not turn out right. Does it mean the parents have failed? They did try. It's the same way you train A, you train
Still a
B.
moot
So whose fault is it that C and D decided to turn out bad?
Yeah, because you're talking too much. You're vibrating too much.
As much as I understand what Mary is saying, Mazino, now, you have a daughter.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Who I believe has a phone.
No, very restricted phone.
Exactly. So now let's talk about those restrictions, because to an extent, parents have that responsibility to take care to actually restrict certain things. When it comes to TV,
I'll tell you something, with my daughter, especially with the very small allowance or liberty that we give her regarding her tab, not a phone. Her tab has got my wife's SIM in it. So if you were even going to call, you'd be calling my wife, not her. It's restricted. There's lock and key on certain apps, and there are not many apps on it. Just maybe YouTube and the rest for her piano lessons and all. However, before she views anything, she knows to ask. She must, no matter where, even if it's a PG, what's it called, on Netflix or any streaming service. Can I see this?
I love
because even that. Those measures put in place by these streaming services these are for kids.
It's not enough.
If you know what we've seen with...
You are parenting, but guess what?
What?
When you are not there, what happens?
I understand.
That's what I'm saying about you as a child.
This is why...
Making sure you
see,
train yourself.
The thing is this,
many of us heard bad songs.
You will fall again, no?
Many of us, we heard bad songs that our parents never played at home. Where?
True.
Was it inside
friends,
the house where we
had the Walkman, those MP3 players and everything.
Exactly.
True.
But if your parents tell you,
that's
they
when
train you, and then you tell yourself, I will not listen to it, even though they are not there. It's a different thing. That's you training
on the same
yourself.
page, you know.
Yes, we're actually on the same page. The truth is, the parents literally set the guidelines. It's now left to the kids to still abide by the guidelines.
Exactly.
Yes, but then again, Mary, what you're saying can also be passed off as, okay, you know what, parents, no matter what you do, your kids will do
They'll
this. Do you
turn how they'll
understand?
turn.
So my point is that, no, parents have to set the guidelines.
Yeah.
So at least
Their
she knows,
responsibility.
no matter what, so even if she's somewhere and someone tells her to watch this, her automatic thinking will be like, oh, will my parents want me to watch this?
Yeah.
Do you understand?
That
So-
will happen eventually, especially the older they get, the more exposed they get,
Yeah.
people they mix with. That will happen. But as a parent, you would have done your own.
Your own, exactly.
And that's what's
So, yeah,
very
do your-
important.
That's why I said that
Do your own.
as a parent, you can only try your best. But really, it is left to you as a child to not do certain things because your parents will not always be there.
True.
You might be a good child till you finish secondary school, then you get to university and then you call it freedom.
In
and then you become
conclusion,
something
I
else.
just wanted to say it's unfortunate that Nigeria has to always come up in these instances, especially when it comes to extortion, use of social media, or some kind of intelligence to extort money from, exploit people. I find it very disturbing, and I'm hoping that it doesn't become a meme all over again or a theme for Nigerians like the Nigerian
Exactly.
prince
Yeah.
that we've been hearing for the past 30 years. I think it's enough. We can't continue that way. So I would say, parents, please bring up your kids
in the way
best
that
way
they should
possible.
grow.
Yeah.
But
And
when
it's
they
never-
grow up, they will not depart
Yeah.
from it.
And listen,
Bible
it's never
girl.
cool to send news. However, if this happens to you, report to your parents. Don't take any action. They can fight for you through the law and through other means.
Exactly.
Okay? The
Exactly.
world has revolved. There are some things that you can, in quotes, get away with now.
Oh, Jesus.
Yes, it's still shameful, but
You're hearing.
you know what I'm saying.
Let's go! And you're welcome. It's time for the dailies. Of course, we are sure that you guys are eager to know what's happening in Nigeria. The front pages often give us an inkling into what you should expect as the day goes by regarding all of the stories that might be on them. So we're going to bring to you some of them. I'm with Mary here. Thank you very much for joining, Mary.
Great
Good
to
to have
be
you here. Are your trinkets secure?
Mazino, let's get on with the headlines. We will
Let's
start
do
with the Nation
headlines.
newspaper. So you better take that one, or should I go ahead?
Okay, I can, no problem. We've got the big story here for the Nation newspaper. First Lady hails Super Falcons. Hang on a second. I'm sorry, I got the wrong one. You better go with yours. My
Forex
apologies.
crisis. CBN likely to flood markets with dollar. Did I just chuckle? Tinubu okays Apex Bank's plans to stabilize currency volatility. How to strengthen Naira, that's by experts. CBN hammer to fall on speculators.
Can I ask why that was exciting news for you?
Because when there's scarcity and there's demand, there's
Prices
usually
rise.
increase. So when it's available, the
Prices drop. But as of yesterday, it was said in certain places that the Naira is about 1,000 Naira.
Yeah.
Close to 1,000 Naira, if not 1,000 Naira in some black market instances. We've been looking for that drop since it was about 650 Naira to $1, and it hasn't happened. So my curiosity now is when, until it gets to 1,500 Naira, then it comes back to 1,000 and settles at 1,000. How does that help any situation?
So the government, what the government did about, unifying it across board was actually the best decision.
It was. Agreed.
However, with the demand, of course, the price kept, escalating and all. However, I've also observed that the people who criticize government policies are usually the ones who go through the back door. Someone exchanged money for 925 Naira per dollar yesterday, went online talking about how Nigerian government this, Nigerian government that. But then just last week, someone from the CBN explained how this works. That the more people go through the back door, the worse the situation becomes. So you are contributing to the back door, but you're complaining about the economy.
Enough said. I know we're going to touch on this in other papers, but let's take more headlines from The Nation, please.
Yeah.
You still have The Nation?
Okay, so Otudeko Otedola feud at center of FBN AGM. NEMA warns of flooding in Lagos, Ogun, Ondo, 16 others. That I find very well.
May I speak to that on a personal level? I rode through Ekiti, Osun, Ondo yesterday, and in parts of these states, on expressways, was waters enveloping everywhere. I've never seen that before. I don't know why it's so currently, but it's a small state of emergency, if you ask me, because it was rather weird to be riding through on expressways. Did your trinket fall again? I will save you the embarrassment and move on.
Marketers put federal vegetable price at 600 Naira. So it's no longer a dream, it's a reality. It's crazy
All right.
stuff. Akeredolu's wife, hopeful governor will return soon. Down here, we see Air Force probes helicopter shot down claim by bandits. Kaduna-bound MI-171 chopper crashed near Zungeru. That was actually big news yesterday. And then, of course, we have U.S. presses ECOWAS to pile more pressure on the Niger junta, Niger junta, rather. No to Bazoum trial, Akiyemi endorses election. So many stories.
So many stories, yes.
Newspaper.
Let's move on to the Daily Independent. Telco's revenue to swell as more workers work from home. From home. The
I like
echo
the
is very
sound
loud.
of that.
Employees now use transport costs to pay for telco services, rely on telecom services for business transactions. However, the telecom services have worsened in the past 4 to 5 weeks.
Yeah.
Which is another Ouroboros all over again. More headlines here. All gas suppliers lament price of diesel at 950 naira per litre. NEMA warns of flooding. We read this from before. In Delta, Lagos, and Anambra, Bauchi, 15 other states. And CBN moves to stabilize naira warns speculators will suffer losses. Appeal court affirms Julius Abure as chairman. And finally, for the Daily Independence, FG NGX open talks on listing more government companies raising capital. Let's move on now to the Daily Trust. I think you have that, don't you?
Well, yes, I do. I really wanted to move on, but I also was excited about, the telco's revenue swelling. Unfortunately, for the people who have to use this media, the reality is the service provision is terrible. You pay so much and the value is low. That's another area the government really needs to look at. I feel like the government has turned a blind eye for so long to the telecom industry. People paying for services they don't receive. It's about time for them to be pulled out.
Whatever happened to the CPC,
Yes,
but let's move on.
to give account of what they're doing.
Daily Trust
Daily
now.
Trust newspaper. Bandits kill many soldiers in Niger. Pilot dies as NAF helicopter crashes. Military mom on attack on personnel. Senator urges deployment of operatives to troubled communities. Cleric, wife, children abducted in Kaduna. Sad stuff there. Now, more woes for passengers as NCAA slams fresh suspension on Max Air. CBN moves to rescue Naira, sanction banks over foul play. And finally, I'll just take this one. Ritualists disguised as laborers kill Ondo pastor on farmland. That's really weird.
That's on the Daily Trust. I'd like to see that one, perhaps. Unfortunate, we can't go on with... We have had other headlines on other dailies, but before you lose more trinkets, we have to move on now. Thank you very much for joining us. Do stay tuned. Let's move on to the kitchen, where Winfrey is standing by with Chef Tina. Winfrey, what's happening in there?
No, I'm not standing by with Chef Tina, right? So it's been a chef extravaganza all week long right here in the Wake Up Nigeria kitchen because of the West Africa Food Festival. So yesterday we had 2 chefs, one from Ghana, one from Gambia, if you can remember. Today we have 2 chefs, but both of them are from Nigeria here. I have Chef Goodness, how are you doing this morning? Who happens to actually be the winner of the cake competition, right?
Yes,
Ooh, she got 2 medals.
Yes.
Amazing. Okay, so we have winner cake decoration and Wafest competition, 3-tier cake Wafest competition. Congratulations, Chef. And of course, up my right here, I have Chef Chappie. Did I get it?
Yes,
Yes, I did. Awesome. Also, you were also a part of
Yes,
the
I
Wafest.
was.
Amazing, amazing. Awesome having both of you guys. So both of them were cooking 2 different things right here in the Wake Up Nigeria kitchen this morning. So make sure you do not touch that. So we're going to be making. What are we making today? What are you making?
Okay, I'm making vanilla and chocolate pudding.
Pudding.
It's very good for breakfast, for canapé, and for desserts.
Okay.
And it's for all group.
Okay.
Because you can see we have nuts, like almond nuts, which is good for the cognitive.
Okay.
And we have cocoa powder, which reduces the sugar.
Yes.
Then we have chocolate chips. It's not a compound chocolate. It's just a normal chocolate chip. Then we have a mixed dyes cranberries.
Okay.
So we have it there. We have our honey, which is very good for the health. We have our raisin here. We have our white chocolate and the dark. We have egg, which is our protein.
Yes.
We have the margarine. Here we have sugar, and we have flour, and we have the container we're going to use to package it.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so now, while we actually focus on Chef Goodness, we'll ask kindly that Chef
Chef Chap will
Chappie.
take my leave.
Yes, of course, you take your leave. But then again, you'll be back
I will
very
be back
shortly.
for
You
you.
will be
Yes,
back.
back.
Amazing.
Thank
Okay,
you.
so then tell me, what's the process? What's the process? So now
Okay.
tell me, has this particular recipe won any awards?
No,
Just so we're sure.
No, it have not won any award. This
Yet.
is my personal recipe.
This is your personal recipe?
Yes.
Amazing. So now tell me, what's the first thing we do creating this?
Okay, the first thing we need to do is to cream our margarine. Then after creaming the margarine, we add the sugar to make it fluffy, as you can
Okay,
see.
Chef, come this way.
Uh,
Come this way so you have enough space to do everything you need
yes.
to do. Okay. Okay.
So to make it
So what's
fluffy.
what's in here?
This is sugar, this is margarine,
Okay.
and egg.
Okay.
And why I added egg is because so that it can make it look fluffy. As you can see, it's dripping down.
Okay.
Very good.
Okay. So
dripping
that's
down.
margarine, sugar, and
Then
egg.
yes.
All right. The
one
whole
egg.
egg or just the yolk or just the white?
The whole egg.
The whole egg.
The
Okay.
whole egg,
Okay.
yes.
So now, what effect does this give the cake or the pudding or yes, the pudding?
This is the foundation, this is the base.
Okay.
So when you add other ingredients, it can be able to carry it along.
All right.
It will come out because without the fat and without the sugar, because once you mix it together, the sugar caramel and the fat will blend together, as in, let's say, use the word collaboration
Okay.
to make this thing comes together.
together.
So when you eat it, it will look yummy in your mouth.
All right.
So it's a
Amazing.
foundation.
Okay, let's go on to what next we do.
So what we're doing, we cream the margarine, the sugar, and the egg. And the next thing we're going to do is to break in the egg.
Okay. We're
Break
gonna
in
add more eggs.
more eggs on it. Yeah, we need
Have
knife.
a fork.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
So we're going to add 4 eggs inside.
Okay.
We are not mixing it.
Okay. Just direct.
Just
add and
direct.
just make it. But then if it was cake, we'll have to.
Yeah,
beat
you
it
have to
and all
whisk
of
it
that.
to
Okay.
be foaming.
Okay.
But this one, you don't whisk it to be foaming.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay. So and then we'll turn that and stir it and stir it and
Yes,
stir it
stir it.
until.
It
And
blends
what's the
together.
consistency we're looking for here?
Okay, foaming.
Okay. Foaming. Okay. Great. I mean, it's blending together
Yes,
nicely.
nice.
All right. So now tell me about the chocolate. What do we do to the chocolate?
We're going to grate it using
Great.
a grater to
Okay,
grate
not
it
melt?
inside. No.
Okay. Grate it.
Yes, inside. So when it's ready, you will see it inside. It will look like chocolate flakes
Oh,
inside.
okay, flakes inside.
Yeah.
All right, amazing, amazing. We also have raisins going in. We
Yes.
have almond nuts here.
Yes.
We have chocolate chip. What did you call this one?
This one is cranberry, diced
okay.
one.
Diced cranberry.
Multicolors.
Oh, okay. Okay. Oh, nice, 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 nice. But then again, can we substitute all of this? I mean, you know, there's some people that don't like things that are too sweet.
Yes,
too sugary.
like now this one is just natural nuts. It's not sugary.
Okay.
Then this one is also natural. It's
Natural,
not sugary.
yes.
If you look here, there is no additive in this place. That was why I said it's good for all groups.
It's good for all groups.
Both the
all
old,
right.
yes.
Yeah, I mean, desserts that is good for all groups. We don't have that a lot because a lot of people believe that desserts is always either fatty and all of that. But then again, it's amazing to know that. And of course, you're using dark chocolates as well.
Yes, and
which
the
is actually
white.
Very,
Yes,
very
and the
healthy.
white one. Yeah,
And the
very
white one
healthy.
as well. Okay.
Yeah.
So we're mixing it. Mix away. Mix away. Normally, how long does this take? Mixing it together.
You can mix it for 10 minutes.
Okay.
Like I use my hand to mix the margarine, the egg, and the sugar.
Okay.
That's the manual way. You can also use your mixer.
Mixer,
to
right?
mix it, yes.
Oh, okay. 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 Okay.
But I advise you use your hand because the mixer will make it over fluffy. But this will not make it over
Will not
fluffy.
make it over
It's something you
fluffy.
can prepare maybe in the night so that when the children are going to school, you
In the
package
morning,
it
yes, you
for
package
them,
it for them.
for their
Amazing.
lunch. Yeah.
Okay. So we keep on going. I mean, and the kids are on holiday as well, but then the holiday is coming to an end. This is definitely a meal you can, or rather, dessert you can actually create and prepare for your kids at home. And also, you can actually run them and have them prepare it with you. It's going to be a fun family time. What are we adding in now?
So we're adding our flavor.
Our flavor. What flavor is that?
That's vanilla.
Vanilla. Ooh. I still have here Chef Goodness, and we're still making, what are we making again?
We're making our chocolate and vanilla pudding.
Chocolate and vanilla pudding. And right now in our bowl, we have
flour, and
right?
And baking powder.
And baking powder in
Yes,
there. Okay,
yes.
I noticed you didn't put a lot of flour. Is all that flour going in?
No.
Or this is
Okay.
just what we
Yes, this is
need?
what
All
we
right.
need.
Okay. And you said you don't want to whisk it because to make it too fluffy,
Yeah,
right?
to make it too
So
fluffy.
it's better to use your hands to control
Yes,
it.
to control it.
All
So
right.
that it's,
So is it okay like this now?
it's okay like this. So we have to put the toppings on it.
Okay.
So
Go ahead. Go ahead. Let's
So
do
now
all
we're
that.
adding our dark chocolate.
Our dark chocolate, grating it directly in. Ooh, that looks good. Looks good. Okay. So how much of that do we need?
We need like 20 grams.
20 grams.
Because,
I like how you're just eyeballing it.
Yes,
I mean,
because I've been doing...
because you've done this
Yes.
for a long time.
Yes,
so
I
you
was
know.
assistant chef when I was 18 years.
18 years. So you've
Yes.
been cooking for how long, or baking for how long now?
I've been baking for like 28 years.
20. Oh, Jesus, what am I using my life to do? 28 years. That's someone's entire lifetime. That's amazing. So definitely now you know when what is enough and
Yes.
what needs to go.
Yes, like the
Amazing.
margarine I used was 250 grams.
Okay.
Then the sugar was 100 grams.
Okay.
Then the baking powder is half TSP.
Okay.
Then the chocolate is 20 grams.
20 grams.
Yeah.
Amazing. Okay, let's go. So what else do we have?
So now we're going to add our
Chocolate
chocolate
chips. Okay.
dark and white.
Dark and white.
I love combining
Combining
it
both, yeah,
together. I love it very
It
well.
makes it look really good.
Yes.
Wow, nice.
Then I'll add my cranberry mix.
Ooh, yeah, I just love it because it's going to be really colorful and attractive. And
yes.
kids would definitely
So
love it.
I'm going to add my raisin, which is
Oh,
very healthy. If you
Yes.
look inside here, it's all healthy
All
nuts.
healthy, natural.
Healthy,
Yes,
yes,
yes.
very good.
Yes.
Then add my
Almond nuts as
almond.
well.
You can decide to
Crush
cut
it,
it.
yeah, I was gonna
crush
ask,
it.
like, are the
you can
balls not too
decide
big?
to add it on it.
Okay, fine.
So
All
it
right.
sits
Oh, love
together.
it, love it, love it. Amazing. So is that all? That's all we're doing for
That's
now?
all
That's
for
all.
now.
Then we'll bake, we'll put it in a,
In the
what is the cooking method?
steaming method.
Steaming method.
Yes,
Amazing.
that's
So this doesn't even go in the oven?
Yeah, it's
All
not
right.
going to the oven. That's why it's very good. It's something you can do.
Yeah, you can do it. You have to put it in the oven. No pressure. Amazing. Thank you so much. Chef. Goodness. By the time we're coming back here, definitely it will all be prepared. Now, Mary's on the chef and he's on the couch. He's on the sofa standing by for our STEM series. Check that out.
Oh my goodness. Don't worry, I'll pardon you. That chocolate also can confuse somebody. All right, so it's time for us to talk about our STEM holiday series. And for that, we are joined by Jadesola Adedeji of STEM Met Resources, a 21st century skills training for children using STEM-based activities to develop skills for the future workplace. Now, after a 20-year career in the pharmaceutical industry, her foray into education was born out of a desire to engage her children in meaningful and creative enrichment programs. And of course, by extension, there's so many exciting things happening. It's so good to have you in the studio with us, Jadesola.
Thank you so much.
All right, so what crafts do you have for us today?
So today we are doing what I'm calling arts in science. Yep. And science, technology, engineering, and math, in recent times, they've included the arts. Because if you think about it, some of those science experiments or projects you're doing, there's actually a creative and art element to it.
Yes, that's why it became STEAM.
That's why it became STEAM, exactly. So today I thought we would do that as a way of illustrating where we're still teaching science.
Okay.
However, we're incorporating crafts, arts and crafts into it. So today I am going to show us how we are going to explain a bit of biology, but using, crafts. So we're going to be using straws, balloons, and a plastic cup to illustrate.
Balloons, plastic cup.
Yes, to illustrate how the long works.
Okay.
So basically, you are going to participate today.
Okay.
So we have this plastic cup here. We've drilled a hole into it.
Okay.
And we are trying to emulate the lungs.
Okay.
We have the straws here, and we have balloons that we've cut.
Okay.
We've cut the top off.
Okay.
And
But it's
taped
taped or glued? Okay, taped.
Yeah, so these are taped around the straw in itself. So simple items that you wouldn't even think of.
Okay.
And so we fold it. So I'll get you to insert this into the plastic cup. So just, try and force that through there.
Without breaking it?
Yes, if possible. 1 second. Let me help you. Let me help you thread it. Okay. So just pull it
so
through.
It's out. Yeah. And then
Right
just
to the
put it
very top.
Okay.
As much as possible so you can seal it.
Okay.
And so what we're trying to do is that This is the trachea, which connects your throat to your lungs. Okay. These balloons are supposed to be your lungs, and this is supposed to be your rib cage, actually.
Okay.
So if you hold that, and I'm going to attempt to seal this, this is going to illustrate the diaphragm.
Aha, okay. Let's see.
Let's see if it works.
Stretching balloons without cutting them. Okay.
There.
Hooray.
So really, technically, these are your lungs, and this is supposed to illustrate how the lung works.
Okay.
So the lungs, as we know, helps us breathe in and out. We take in oxygen, we expel carbon dioxide, but the lung itself doesn't really do anything without this powerful muscle. The lung is not a muscle. This powerful muscle here, which, you know, seals everything, and is called the diaphragm. Yeah. And that is the muscle that actually controls the lungs. Nothing happens without this. Okay. So when the diaphragm is pulled down, it makes the lung cavity expand, and basically your lung is filled just like with air. Exactly.
So these are the lungs. So when you pull
the lungs are in there. Yep.
It expands.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when you pull it, it expands. Yeah. Like blowing. So you pull it,
and it expands.
I like the sound it's making.
Yeah, so basically when you pull the diaphragm down, you are creating more capacity and volume for air. And so air is coming through. So this point here is your nostrils, comes down through the trachea. There's high pressure there, so the lungs fill with air.
Yeah.
So of course, when when it goes back and it contracts, you are expelling the air and everything reverses.
Amazing.
So obviously when you have a cold, you're a bit more congested, or if you have any respiratory conditions, if this muscle is compromised in any way, it makes breathing a lot more difficult. So really, this is a simple way of explaining biology to children. You know, you are using arts and crafts to be able to do that. And you are able to, again, illustrate the concept. So it's not just the words in a book. They can actually see it. So if the diaphragm comes down, increased volume, increased pressure, air comes in. If the diaphragm goes up, the opposite thing happens.
I think the fun part of it is they being able to experience this themselves.
Exactly.
Putting, you know, their hands, being able to see exactly how the lungs work, and then, of course, the craft in it, because some children love art.
Exactly.
And it's usually a great way to illustrate for them. It's not enough to draw. Sometimes being able to participate is part of it.
Yeah, I'm sure a lot of them have drawn this concept of, you know, the trachea and then the lung, lobes, etc. But I think, you know, illustrating it and, as you said, them participating in it will help them remember. And that's what STEM is all about, or STEAM, learning by doing.
This is exciting. I love that line, learning by doing. Yes. Really, thank you so much for your time, Jadisola Adedeji. It's been really exciting learning how this works. Okay, so while I continue to play with this like a child, let's find out what's been happening in the kitchen, okay?
Okay, welcome back. Oh, I can't. Our kitchen. We're definitely performing magic today because I have Chef Chape back here with us. Chef Chape, how are you doing this morning?
I'm awesome.
All right, so now tell me, what are we making?
Oh, basically, I'll be playing around with noodles. But what I'll be doing right now, I'll be stir-frying the noodles, and then it's going to be with chicken breast. Basically.
Okay, so stir-fried noodles with chicken breast. Amazing. Yes. So tell me, what do we need to bring this to life?
Basically, we have our noodles, then the chicken breast itself. Then we have our yellow and green and red bell pepper. We have our carrots. We have our onions. We have our seasoning. Then we have our vegetable oil, and then we'll be using a pinch of salt to it.
All right, amazing.
Also, we'll have our spring onions.
Spring onions, okay, amazing. Yes. So now, where do we start?
Basically, we'll start by steaming our noodles. So for this recipe, we're using 2 noodles.
Okay.
And then since we are just steaming it, we'll allow it just for 5 minutes. Well, while we do that, then we'll quickly start working on our chicken. The chicken has already been washed, and then it has been shredded already. Okay. So we'll drop our vegetable oil in the pan. Just a drop of it, please. And then we have our onions in the pan.
Okay. Do you marinate the chicken at any point?
Yes, I did light marination for the chicken. I have a touch of garlic and ginger fresh in it, basically for it. So while our pan is getting hot,
what are we going in next?
basically then our chicken, already the chicken has been marinated already.
Okay, what
So
did you marinate with?
we have a pinch of garlic and ginger in it, and then a pinch of seasoning in it.
And it's great because it's chicken breast and it doesn't take time.
Yeah, it doesn't take time. So
prepare.
this shouldn't take you 10 minutes stop to achieve this at home.
Okay,
So
the entire meal?
The entire meal.
Oh, wow, nice.
It's
Because, I mean,
noodles.
noodles, exactly, it's noodles.
Yes, basically, so it's instant. So
So
you're
what
not
takes
supposed
time is literally the slicing and the dicing.
and the prep, the
and
mise en
prep.
plans, getting ready for your meal
Yes, but once all of that is set, I mean,
We're
look
good
at
to go.
chicken is already getting,
already.
yeah,
Already.
getting cooked.
Already.
So, yeah. Oh,
We'll
nice.
check
I like
on
it.
our noodles.
Direct.
It's a very direct meal.
Very direct meal. Doesn't waste time, and it's really yummy as well and really
It's
healthy.
an amazing meal. It's an amazing meal. And this gives you another option of going about noodles. There are so many ways you can achieve your noodles. This particular one is an amazing way to go about your noodles.
Right. So now tell me, Chef Chape, how was the Wafest for you?
Amazing. Wife's was beautiful. The experience most of us had was mind-blowing. And then for me particularly was the fact that we had different countries from West Africa participating. The competition, the training, the exposure we had was just on another level.
Nice.
Was just
Did you
on
come
another
all
level.
the way from Kaduna for this?
Yes, I did.
Oh,
I did.
amazing.
I did. I did.
What is the cooking climb like? Like, what is it like in Kaduna for chefs?
Kaduna is an amazing town, and then we have a lot of chefs that are aspiring to come to this top level.
Yeah.
And we also have young, amazing chefs in Kaduna that are doing exceptionally fine. The culinary world in Kaduna is taking a new shape. Coupled with the fact that we have young minds that are daring to go into culinary. So in Kaduna is really, really amazing. And then what we're also doing in Kaduna, we're also trying to promote our local indigenous recipe from the north. Some of the things that we're trying to inculcate from Kaduna. So at Kaduna is really, really awesome.
Amazing. Thank you so much for being here with us.
so much.
Amazing.
Thank you
The
so
fact
much.
that you had a great time at the Wafest.
Thank you so
And
much.
our noodles seems to be getting all soft already, and our chicken breast on the way. Right now we have to go on a break because it is the top of the hour, but do not go anywhere. We'll be right back with 45 whole minutes.
And you're welcome to the second lap of the #1 family breakfast show here. And of course, my Tuesday nugget is for you to try not to become a man of success, but rather become a man of value.
Important. And I'll just follow up on that by saying a winner is a dreamer who never gives up. So keep pushing. You're about to break boundaries this August. I see you breaking boundaries.
So what's that? Because I give one very good motivation, you have to tally up. Come on, girl, stop the competition.
Mine was better than yours.
You see?
Would you have come up with a winner is a dreamer?
Whatever, man. Anyhow, we still have
right
so
now.
much for you guys for the next 45 minutes. And we are so glad that you guys have decided to join us and stay with us all the way till the end. There's so much for you guys, especially from the kitchen. You're going to love it.
Yes, so much excitement in the air. Loads to look out for in the rest of this exciting Tuesday edition of the show. My name, of course, is Mary Bashir Alibi.
My name is Mazina Appeal, and inside of the kitchen we have Winfried Agbeleshe.
Okay, so we still have two of our chefs here, Chef Goodness and Chef Chape, and we're literally making magic right here, right now. So Chef Goodness, tell me, what level are we at with our pudding?
Okay, yes, I have greased the cup.
Yes.
Then I pour the batter, the pudding batter inside. Then I have to steam it.
Okay. Okay, so now they're stimming.
Yes.
I think it's totally amazing that we can actually make pudding steaming it, right?
Yes.
Can we make a cake this method as well?
Yes.
We can make cake like this as well.
Yes, we can.
Amazing. I never knew that. So what we really need is the heat, right?
Yes.
It's not going to change the consistency and the feel of it?
No.
Not at all. Amazing. Okay, so I mean, how many minutes do we need to leave that for?
35 minutes.
35 minutes. All right. Okay, great. Definitely we'll be ready before the show is over because we have 45 minutes more. So we have Chef Chappie as well. We have our noodles on the way. They're getting ready. So we'll definitely come back to you with all of that. Now, Mary and Mazino, over to you guys. I'm having a blast here.
Wow, that's interesting. I didn't know you could make a cake like that.
Yeah, well, I was thinking of something else.
Yeah,
Let's talk about
Winfrey, there's so much gossip going on around you. But We'll
Don't
let
worry,
you know
if
after.
you know, I'll definitely tell you. Don't mind this guy, I'll tell you.
What's coming up for the next 45 minutes? A musical performance. We have Joy Bliss, an ardent believer of Christ and also a singer. She's the pioneer of the worship leaders community on Instagram. And, well, she'll be here to give us a very interesting performance.
Then, of course, we'll be having Dr. Dorothy Jeff Nnamani, who is the MD CEO of Novo Health Africa Limited. And today, she'll be talking to us about something which will be quite well, especially regarding our health. We can't wait for that one.
And Iyebie Adeta is a seasoned Nigerian film poster designer and also illustrator. He has great expertise in the designing of film posters. Today, he's going to join us. We're going to be talking to him about his art, and maybe I might even endeavor.
Thank you for staying with us. It's still the amazing Tuesday edition right here on Wake Up Nigeria. And now I have a very special guest, which I'll be interviewing right about now. She goes by the name Mrs. Chinwe Bode Akinwade, and we're literally going to be talking about the CBA Foundation. Welcome to Wake Up Nigeria.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for joining me here today.
For having me.
Okay, so now the CBA Foundation, from what I've read, has literally been doing so much in that space and everything. But then again, most importantly, I'd like to find out, I mean, before the CBA Foundation, who were you and what were you about and what led to it?
Okay, so before the CBA Foundation, I've been me, doing my thing in my little world.
Yeah.
But again, leading to setting up CBA Foundation is me beginning to observe what happens, stories that I hear, things that happen to my friends, you know, family members that their dad is gone, and see what their mom goes through.
Oh, wow.
Then I'm a Christian, I go to church, I see this set of women that after church, you know, they just cluster around windows of people and they keep telling the story of their lives. So I became more curious to say, who are they? For me to realize that they are widows, and with a whole lot of things, the dehumanization, the stigma that these women go through, I just chose that, you know what, I'm going to dive into this, set up a foundation, and let this little light of mine shine.
Wow, and the little light is definitely shining really, really bright. Well done, I would say, because it's not easy to literally take on another person's plight, another person, and literally try to help them. Now, so tell me about the CBA Foundation.
So the CBA Foundation is, CBA here is Chinwe Bode Akinwade, working to leave a legacy for what, again, I am doing here on earth, is advocating for the plight of the widows. But in this case, we focus more on the privileged widows, because I believe that there are widows that are still privileged, much as they have lost their husband.
Sure.
So the underprivileged, where we say we want to offer them hope in the little things that we're going to be doing for them. We want to drive advocacy. There is a law, which is the Violence Against Persons Prohibition. It came to law in 2015 by Nigeria. But of course, we've realized, myself and the Board of Trustees, that this advocacy is more or less a law that is lying in vacuum.
Sure.
Nobody is enforcing it. Even the widows don't even know that this law exists. So the foundation is driving, by me being in the studio today, is by way of advocacy to let the world know that there is a law. It has to be enforced. The things that the widows go through is our desire in CBA Foundation to know that widows should be able to wake up and have hope for the next day.
Sure.
Life has happened, but you have to pick your pieces together and just get up and go.
Wow, now I know something for sure. Having a foundation is no child's play. Now, when we talk about funding, how is this done?
So what we essentially do is we draw up our proposals. We've done our need analysis to say, we look at intervention from health perspective, women empowerment, their counseling, back to school to children, at least to the level of primary education is what we drive as well. And the social enterprise initiative, where we're looking at a value chain to say, if you start something, have it to be something that is sustainable. You then begin to set your business and make your money. So having put this focus, you know, in perspective, we reach out to corporate organizations to say, this is who we are, this is what we do, and definitely we give account of our stewardship. Because one thing for us is our books are audited. We scrutinize ourselves under the governance to make sure that there is transparency in what we do. So by the time we do that, organizations say, okay, I'm interested in what we do. This is how we can help. And also individuals. Some of them just go to the website, click on the donate button.
Oh, wow.
Stay anonymous. But what we do is we always tell them this is how your money is spent. So literally that is how we've...
Transparency.
Exactly. This is how we've been driving the funding for now.
All right.
Hoping
So
that
more
will
will
come from international
definitely,
organizations.
yes, definitely. Yes. So now I know that, I mean, it's one thing to set up foundation, to do all you do and all of that. Then again, you mentioned the plight of the underprivileged widows. What would you say is the biggest problem in that space? And then the other ones that you say, okay, fine, this also happens. But like, what is that thing that is at the top of the problem chain?
So what is that thing? For me, what has become very prevalent, what has become very common of late is a situation where a woman has just lost the husband. And the next thing you see is family of the man, you know, come knocking on the door to say, here, we are here for a family meeting. And the family meeting happens to be subjecting the woman to say, it's time to take inventory of what the man has, the land, the cars, bring the ATM card. As a matter of fact, some of them demand for the international passport of the woman and the kids, for those that are, again, privileged. The unprivileged ones, the family members have moved in to secure the land where the man has and say, you can't farm anymore. We have stories where the widow gave birth to just girls. One of her daughters is in the university, but she's been deprived from farming on the land because she has a girl. You know, so confiscating their properties and letting the grief just eat them up is what is getting so bad and very prevalent in the society. And we're saying, no, this should stop. This is injustice. This is wickedness. This is greed. Because we've seen that the people that do this, days are gone where they all come from the village. People are in their SUVs. They are doing very well. And they still come to take from the woman, which is unfair. Who does that? So that is what we are seeing. That is what we are experiencing. And by the time we run our health intervention, our outreach, for me to be very conservative, if you gather 200 widows here, 90 to 95% of them are hypertensive. The data is there. The records are there. We've had a case where at Iberiko, the community where we had the outreach, 12 of them, as a matter of fact, came with the tricycle, what they call the keke. And they've been rubbing balm on their side, feeling, oh, they have this pain. Only for the doctors to check, and their BP is about 296 over something. So their health issues is deteriorating by the reason of what they go through. And family members, husband's family, and when we say husband's family, is the male and both the sister-in-laws coming into their space, invading and taking over.
Wow. So now it's not even just a fight for property alone. It's a fight for their lives.
That's right.
Now, that is definitely mind-blowing. So now, in your experience so far, what would you say, what measures have you put in place, or does the foundation put in place to curb these particular issues?
So what we do is, we are not the law enforcers. So our own role is to advocate, to call it out, to raise the carpet, to say, no, we are bringing out all these things that is going on.
And when you call it out, do you have people respond?
Yes, so when we call out, most of the things that we've realized are lawyers call us to say, hey, I am very passionate to hear about this, and I'm ready to help, to support any widow going through any of this injustice pro bono. So what we do is we get their details, we reach out to them once peculiar cases come like this, and we just do the handshake for the lawyer to help them. For the lawyer to help.
Amazing. Right. I think that's done, because I was actually going to ask, so how do you, will I use the word recruit widows? Do they actually come to you, or do you reach out, or you hear of issues like that? How do you do that?
So what we do is we place a call on our different handles, but beyond that, just to be sure that we are reaching out to the core target audience, in this case, the widows. We walk through churches. We walk through mosques. We go to the townships. In the case of the West, they call them the ballets. So when we go to the townships, they know them. In churches, they have their different groups and organizations where they meet. So when we do that, we're able to get the numbers. They send us the list, and we then reach out to them to give our outreach.
Nice. I think it's amazing. I think what you're doing is brilliant. And I mean, it takes someone with a large heart to literally put herself aside and then do this for other people. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for coming and shedding more light on this. I wish you all the grace and strength for this journey.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. All right, and that's it right now. But still so much to come. We still have our chefs in the kitchen, so do not touch that dial. We'll go on a quick break.
Oh, we'll be right back.
Welcome back. It's time for our next segment, and now we have someone, well, I can't wait to have this conversation. Dr. Dorothy Jeff Namani. She's the MD CEO of Novo Health Africa Limited, committed to creating value through excellent coordination and also efficient delivery of healthcare services. Better client experience during hospital visits, enhanced client engagements in their own healthcare, reduction in medical errors, and improved clinical outcomes. She'll be talking to us about the importance of having a good HMO provider for your family in Nigeria. Good to have you here.
Thank you.
You have no idea. I've got so much I want to let off my chest. But
yeah, I hope I can help.
You definitely can, actually. We're talking about the importance of having an HMO for your family and for yourself. Nigerians always have Jesus. That's a big problem. So first off, I would like you to highlight to us what the importance of having an HMO is before we go into the nitty-gritty.
All right, so I figure that if you already have a HMO, it means that you're already budgeting for your health. You already created some allowance to take care of your health needs. And with that, you already have a health financing plan. So if you have a HMO, it could be that you have the health insurance under managed care, which is, it gives you the most leeway and you have little risk to take on. So the HMO and the providers take up the risk for you. Or you have the third-party administration. In this case, the HMO does all the administrative management. However, they protect you from unexpected financial risk. Or you have the indemnity insurance, whereby you have a global amount that you already pre-planned to spend on your health. So either way, you have a health budget. So in looking at the importance, I like to categorize it in 5 ways so that people really understand. Because once you say HMO, they think it's just all about paying money. There are a lot of things that HMOs will do for you. First is the financial angle, of course. So if you have a HMO, you already budgeted for your health. So budgeting for your health means that you even have a better health-seeking behavior. You're not afraid to go to the hospital. You're not afraid of what they're going to charge you. You quickly, when you feel the need, go to the hospital. And it takes care of not just the expense on treatment. It also takes care of your additional other added expenses like feeding, if you're on admission costs, diagnostics, and the rest of them, even rehabilitative in case you need some rehabilitation. And in some countries, you even have an incentive. Somewhere like India, you have an incentive. Your income, your tax, income tax is actually reduced. Yes, you have an incentive reduced, and the premium is also reduced if you're buying as a family. Then the next one, the other 2 angles I also look at it from is from the social, cultural, and economic angle. And this for me is very important because it also tells on the vision of Novo Health Africa. Our vision is towards individual, family, and community health for social development and economic growth in the Africa region. So these 2 other angles, I really want people to understand that HMO plans, you having a health insurance, is a social development tool. We have a culture of family. We're family-oriented people here in Nigeria, and I'm sure the rest of Africa too. And for us, family is not just you and your immediate family. It's all about the extended family. And extended family, so I like to say loved ones and family. So extended family is everybody around you, whether it's your community or you have like old boys, old girls, you have WhatsApp groups where you belong, and your tribe in general.
So how have you, or what work is on ground to make people more aware of how important it is to have HMOs? Because when you tell an average person about HMOs, like, do I have that money to go and just give somebody, not considering that they would need it eventually?
They will need it.
What measures are in place to make people more aware of the need?
Like I'm talking to you. It's that's the awareness. And then for people who are already registered, who have felt the advantage, they benefited from it, so they go ahead and tell other people.
Word of mouth.
Exactly, word of mouth. So the point is, Nigerians think that HMOs are for when you're sick. The plan is not just for when you're sick. It's a pre-planned thing. You have to plan for it. And if you plan for it, you get the best of it. Because there's health promotion. HMO will keep you healthy, apart from the financial
Do they keep
aspect.
everybody healthy? Because I know that for older folk, it's difficult for them to actually get HMOs to be their partners. So how is that? Is that a thing? Am I correct or am I wrong?
Well, I wouldn't want to say you're wrong, but yeah, because it depends on the plan on the HMO. That as a HMO, you have private plans, so you can actually design and create plans to suit a target population, and that is also another advantage of having a HMO plan because it covers for various lifestyles. So in a plan, you have something that is for the young adults, for the aged. And some HMOs like Novo Health Africa, we have geriatric plans which cover from 60 to 80 years.
Is it more expensive though than for a young strapping man like myself?
I wouldn't say expensive, but it's priced right.
It's priced right.
It's priced right.
And
because
do they take into consideration ailments that they might already have, or because some HMOs actually run away from these aged ones who have prevailing ailments. That's the sad part.
I wouldn't say that they run.
I wouldn't tell you they're running away, but they're like,
I wouldn't say they run away, but they haven't underwritten it. I think I'll use that word.
Okay.
Because it's you have to think through it and underwrite it. Remember, the person has to be covered for whatever you have already promised to be covered. So I would say they haven't really thought through it. Okay. But we in Novo Health, we've thought through it. So we offer the geriatric plan. We also have plans for young adults. Between 18 to 30 years. We call it the Discover Plan.
So I'm not in that plan because
you're not in that plan. At that time, you're discovering your health. These are the people who feel invincible.
Exactly,
These are the people
very true.
who don't like to go to the
They
hospital.
will never die, according to them.
Exactly. So you have to think through, what am I going to offer them? They're the people who want to have everything done on their phone. They don't want to go to hospital. They rather speak to somebody. Their interest is in, maybe they're thinking of changing their career. They want to talk to a life coach. They want to talk to a psychotherapist.
Mental health.
That's what
That's very interesting. I never knew that
they want to talk about their, dental care, eye, the lens, and all of that.
Wow.
They don't want to sit down in a hospital and be talking to any doctor.
We don't have so much time, but if you were going to give one advice to people out there, especially on this endeavor to try and make aware the importance of healthcare, what would that be? What would you be telling them? What would you?
I'll tell everyone to go get a HMO plan because it helps you through your health journey in life. It ensures that you have better outcomes when you go to the hospital, and it reflects on your quality of life, and it also reflects on the length of years. So you talk about your life expectancy.
Yeah.
And
quality of life, very important.
And you better understand what it means to be engaged in your own health. Yeah.
Well, thank you very much, Ms. Naman. Very good to have you here. Never been put like that. And of course, I'm going to definitely be asking some more questions behind the scenes from you. Well, hopefully you guys out there have taken sample, and I hope that you go out there and get yourself an HMO. If you need any assistance, well, you know where to go. Do stay tuned. We've got more coming your way. I hear inside of the kitchen there's something happening, but we still have one more guest for you guys. We'll be back.
We get to have a conversation now with Iyebiye Adeton. He is a seasoned Nigerian film poster designer and illustrator. He has great expertise in the designing of film posters, illustrations, and is known for his art create solutions plus by bringing death, life, and meaning through his sophisticated manner of simplicity.
Only you,
All right.
Okay, welcome to Wake Up Nigeria.
Thank you.
It's amazing having you here. Now, I mean, being in the film space, right, in that film space, designing of flyers, I think is actually a very, 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 very important part that a lot of people overlook. So now, what would you say made you stick to that part?
I would say that prior to now, a lot of importance is not drawn to, making film posters.
Yeah.
And like you said, it's a very integral part of film marketing. Because if your posters are not good, it will be hard for you to sell your products. Because that's what your audience, your prospective audience, first come in contact with before they want to see your film on any streaming platform or the cinema.
Yeah.
So I think that's one of the reasons why I said, let me just go into this area and let's see what we can do about it.
Okay. Was it born out of a passion? Some people start from love for the film industry. And then you probably, want to be an actor. And then in the process of learning the arts, you probably delve into production, delve into this. And then you found this as a lacking medium. Was that the case for you, or it was just that from the beginning?
I would say like I'm somebody that has a lot of things. I like to do a lot of things that relate into art, and designing film posters for me is like the synergy, because I studied theater art.
Okay.
I wanted to make films. I love design. So it was the synergy for me. The love of film, love of the art, and my love for design just made me feel like, okay, let me just stay around this part and, you know.
That's good.
And your designs are amazing. We're watching them on TV right now.
Thank you.
What would you say inspires them? Is it the move? Because I know sometimes we have some directors or some producers that might want to go a certain kind of way. But then again, this actually looks really out of the ordinary. So do you get guidance from them, or what exactly influences your designs?
It varies because, some directors give you creative freedom to do whatever you like. And while some directors, give you some insights.
Guidelines.
Yeah. So it varies. But most of the time, the directors just give me creative freedom to
do
and
that.
most of the time, they share me with the story.
Oh, you did that.
So once I connect with the story, it's easy for me to create something.
Now, by connecting with the story, do you mean you read the story, or you actually watch the movie before you figure out what would be best as a graphic art for it?
Again, it varies. Because sometimes they engage me prior to the shooting.
Okay.
So I get to read the script.
Okay.
And if they are going to engage me after they've shot the film, I can see the trailer or I see the film itself. So it varies. So sometimes if I should read the script and I'm able to connect with the soul of the story, I'm good to go.
Okay, amazing. So now tell me, because graphics designers now have, I think they're the ones making all the money.
My
You
sister.
people, you pay. I just finished an event. Literally, my graphics guy. Okay, so now tell me what, like a flyer, like a movie flyer. Now, give me an idea of the range. What can it possibly cost?
I don't think there's a standard price. I can only speak for myself.
Oh yeah, for yourself. Tell us.
He's thinking of his landlord now, and his mechanical.
Exactly, and what influences that pricing?
Okay, so it depends on the deliverables.
Okay.
If you are doing a short film now, you're just probably going to make just one poster. And if you want to make character posters where individual actors have their own singular posters.
Yeah.
So for that now, you can say, okay, there's a package for that, but at a base, 150K.
For short film.
Yeah.
So it is an event.
Actually,
an entire event.
An entire event is different because the deliverables are
exactly. So give me an idea. What's the range? What are we talking about?
It depends on the event too, and it depends on the kind of art direction you want to go with the stuff. So maybe a little over 500 or so.
A little, just a little.
Just a little, yes, a little. So you see why they said that graphic artists, they make a lot of money.
They make a lot
but is the money making part of what inspires you? Be honest.
No, it has never been. When I started out, I was making free posters for my friends that are making short films. We have a community, Film Arts Club, and I was just making
the
short films for them at little to nothing, 5K here, 10K there, and that's always been my passion.
So with your journey so far, what would you say drives you?
I think it's my love for the industry, my love for Nollywood. It is my joy, for us to see what has happened to the music industry happen to Nollywood too. Because of the Afrobeat era now, a lot of artists are enjoying the era because the world is listening to Afrobeat now.
Yeah, that's true.
So I want it to happen to Nollywood too. Yeah. So that's why we are trying to raise the standard. Everybody's trying to up their game. At every level.
At every level. Amazing. So what would you say is the next thing for you now? Graphic designer, is there something else? Does it evolve? What's next?
Yeah, it's going to evolve because the goal basically is to document Nollywood. Because at a point, we're going to get to a point where this moment is going to fade and then people would probably not remember. I don't know if you remember Living in Bondage, what the poster looks like.
Funny enough, I do.
Not the new one, the old one.
Yeah,
The old one.
Funny enough, I do. I've not even seen the new one. The
So now,
poster.
if you remember
Wow.
now, is there a place where you can go to see that?
No,
and say,
I don't
oh,
think
this is,
so.
I remember.
I don't think so.
There's no place. So that's the goal for me.
Okay.
I want to create like a museum, like a
Wow.
gallery a gallery of Nollywood film posters, African posters, where people can come and see 10 years, 20 years to this time. They come and say, oh, I remember this film. This is what happened in this film. And happens everywhere in Hollywood, Bollywood, they do it, but we don't have it here. So I think that's the goal. At a certain age, I would like to retire and, you know, just watch young people do their thing, and while I focus on, you know, managing a museum of, you know, posters where people can come.
But acting is not in the plan.
If it comes, because I studied theater arts, and at the point I wanted to be a star, a movie star, but you know, Nigeria.
But I think what you do pays more.
It's what it pays more than acting. I understand, right? Yes, we know. Yeah, so maybe but if he wants to come into the movie industry, you come in as a big boy now.
They know you.
You're not telling him that you give us discount on the graphics. Don't worry. Well, we are paying you for your acting. Yes.
It'll be amazing. I think it's amazing. I mean, talking about the fact that you actually sometimes are on movie sets and you actually get to read the script and all of that. Because sometimes you give some graphic designers they literally need you to tell you, what do you want? Okay, give me the details. How do you please arrange everything? They just want to copy and paste it.
Yeah.
So
and your independence is actually laudable. Well done.
It is.
Well
Well
done.
done.
You're being able to take initiative is very important.
Oh my God, very, very. very.
She's speaking from personal experience.
Very,
She does
very.
All right, at this point, we've got to head to the kitchen. We've been looking forward to what has been going on in the kitchen. I know Winfrey is like the veteran for the kitchen today, but I can't wait to see what's been going on. Let's head over. Please, can you pass me a chair? I have to be the second guest.
Narf.
We have 2 plates now. Yesterday, we had 2 guests for 2 plates.
Let the guest breathe.
Is the meal?
Actually, I can be the second guest.
Yeah.
So pass me a chair. Why are you guys doing me like
Welcome into the Wake Up Nigeria kitchen. Well done, chefs. You guys have definitely done this. So why are we people should swap.
All right.
Yes.
You too.
Yeah. Let them stand in front of you.
Stand in front of me.
Okay, so let's sit here. So we've literally had Chef Goodness right here, the winner of the cake part of the WAF Fest.
3 times.
Can see her medals. Can see medals and everything.
3 tiers traditional wedding cake under 3 hours.
Under 3 hours.
When are you doing your own Bikathon?
Marathon, right?
Bikathon, Guinness World Record.
I have to prepare for it.
Amazing, and that looks nice. Now, she made vanilla and chocolate pudding. Amazing, looks gorgeous. Now, of course, we have Chef Chappie here.
This is
noodles. This is noodles, right? Looks, I mean, intercontinental noodles with all of this. And we'd love for you to try it out. And
I thought you'll never get there.
What you think about it?
Which one do you want?
Right?
Exactly.
The noodles
The pudding.
or the
No, the food goes before the dessert now.
Nigerian man. That's why this one will go
dessert,
through your belly.
There you go.
You go for desserts later. Okay.
Yeah.
Please dig in.
Amazing.
And let's have your feedback. What's your take?
So tell us what's in there, Chef.
Oh, basically, you have the noodles with the chicken breast, and then you have your yellow, red, and green bell pepper, and then I'm dressing with tomatoes.
Yes, of course. Very healthy breakfast option.
It is.
I like chicken.
Who doesn't? Bam.
Now, Mary, I understand. I am jealous too.
Bro, you know, and I'm too close to the food again.
I know.
First one turns to beggy.
I see that we still have pudding in here. I'm very amazed that this is how.
Our guest does not give us feedback. You're just going on and on.
Yeah. So that's to tell you. That's all the feedback you need. So what do you think? Is it inspiring you to create?
Oh, you need one more.
A poster.
A poster.
So to create a poster for because the West African Food Festival just ended. If you had to create a poster for it, what would you have likely used?
I'll probably use the noodles or food elements to create the African map, something like that.
African map.
Oh, because it is about the African.
You're quick,
food,
really
creativity.
quick. Oh,
Yeah, you wanted to put him on the spot.
Yes.
Okay. Let me help you with a little.
So try the pudding. Let us know what you think as well.
Okay.
There's another fork
There's
there.
another fork
Okay.
there.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was gonna help you with this little.
Go ahead. Yeah, there it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
So try it. Oh my gosh, the chocolate.
Love it.
Okay.
We see why you won, Chef.
This is the first time I'm ever going to say to a guest, please don't finish it. Please don't finish it. I really would like to know what it tastes like.
Oh boy.
And I like the way you
This is good.
You're really enjoying it.
He's like,
well done.
This is the role I was supposed to take as assistant guests.
Well done. So that's a thumbs up? 2 thumbs up?
Thank you.
Amazing. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And of course, we have our award here. Winner cake decoration
For Nigeria.
Oh, Nigeria.
Fantastic. Well done, chef.
Well done.
Okay. Even as we celebrate our chefs, local chefs doing great things.
Yeah.
We thank you as well for always watching Wake Up Nigeria. And we're looking forward to ensuring that you're watching us tomorrow morning, bright and early from 7 a.m. Thanks to all our guests, thanks to our chefs, thanks to the crew, thanks to everybody. Bye.
See you tomorrow.